Let's continue working on our application. In the Pages folder, on the main page where we start, let's get rid of the content we have in there right now. Let's get rid of the entire script and style section therefore, because I want to start from scratch there and build a nice landing page for our blog. Now, how would such a landing page look like typically? Well, we need to have a wrapping div because Vue components must have only one root element. I'll give that a class of home page, but the name is totally up to you. Now in there, we might have a section with a class intro or whatever you like, where we might have a h1 tag where we have some greeting sentence, our main theme of the web page, whatever you want. Here I'll say get the latest tech news. Now below that starting section, we could have another section where we simply have some featured posts. So let me add an appropriate CSS class. Now in here I want to have a list of, well, my posts I want to show. And on this page, of course, don't want to show the full post, just let's say the title and some preview text. And obviously each post should be a link. So I can add my next link here and lead to, let's say, /posts/ and then whatever ID we have here. So therefore, to will actually be bound to a dynamic value with a colon in front of it or vbind in front of it, whichever syntax you prefer. Then we need to wrap the text in single quotation marks, but now we can also add some dynamic value, like 1, for example. Now we'll revisit this to actually get this value dynamically and not hard-coded in there. So this is now my link. And I want to wrap, let's say, an article element, so a normal HTML element that is, where I give it a class of post preview maybe, and in which I then have, let's say, a div, which I'll use to display some thumbnail for the post with a background image. So let's give this a class of post thumbnail. And below that we could have a div with a class of post content, where we, let's say, have a h1 tag with the post title, and where we then also have a paragraph with the preview text. So not the full text, just a short preview snippet. This could be a single post. Of course, we typically not just have one, so I will copy and paste this to also have a post which leads to post 2 with the post title 2 and the preview text 2. Again, we'll dynamically generate this soon. Now if we do that and we go back to our starting page, we actually see our posts here, and if I click then, I'm taken to the detail page. The styling is a bit off though, so let's add some styling here. For that, I'll add the style section, and I will also scope that styling here to only apply it to this component, and I already prepared some styles. So you again find them attached to this video. Just paste them in. We got styling for the entire post preview container to give it a border and a little bit of box shadow to give it this card-like look. And then we got styles for the different parts in that card. So now this is what a post preview looks like. We got these huge cards here. I can zoom out a bit here to make this a bit easier to see. Now the styling is a bit off because we don't have thumbnails. So let's quickly search an image we want to display. Here I simply searched for tech on Google Images, and now simply pick any image you like or search for anything you like. You're totally free to use whatever you enjoy. In my case, I ended up taking a specific image, which I now simply apply by setting on this post here, on this div, which should host the thumbnail, by setting the style equal to background image URL, and then simply enter the URL you grabbed pointing to the image you want to load. If you do that, you see the image here on the first post. Now I will simply duplicate that entire div to the second post, and of course that means I use the same image there, but now it looks a bit nicer. Now we need more styles to adjust the positioning of our post cards though, because right now they're a bit ugly, to be honest. The same is true for our starting sentence here. For that, I provided more styles attached to this video, which you should also grab, and which you now can simply enter into that scoped styling down there. So if you enter this content, that were the styles I added here with a little media query also, then it looks like this if you reload it. And there I should grab the post preview class and move it from the article to the next link. The same for the second post. And with that, we should end up with a nicer display that's also responsive. So this is now how we can display the posts. Still, we got no header and so on, but it is an improvement already.